Welcome to the MCMLA Leadership Orientation. This is Jackie Hittner, the MCMLA Treasurer, and I am with John Bramble, the 2017-2018 Chapter Chair. We will be your narrators for Part 1 of this two-part orientation. Part 1 covers general information about the chapter that does not change from year to year. Part 2 covers information that does change from year to year. The orientation is designed to help those in MCMLA leadership positions, such as elected and appointed officers, along with volunteers leading long-term jobs, such as chairs of ad hoc or task force committees, and members who agreed to chair chapter committees. We thank all who serve the MCMLA membership in your leadership role within the chapter. The MCMLA Leadership Orientation is designed to help the MCMLA leadership better understand what makes up MCMLA and the resources intended to assist in getting work done and communicating with chapter members. This presentation begins the process of learning and thinking about your role in MCMLA. Let's get started. The purpose of the chapter is defined in the bylaws. There are three: to stimulate and strengthen interest in health science library and information activities and the Medical Library Association, to further the professional development of members, to promote cooperation and communication among members and area groups within the chapter and between chapters. MCMLA is a professional volunteer organization, which means all of the work of the chapter is done by members. There are no paid staff like an executive director or an administrative assistant, like you might see in other types of organizations. The reasons people join and participate in volunteer organizations like MCMLA vary. Some do because they want to help promote their profession or give back to the profession that helped them in their careers. Others like the networking opportunities or simply enjoy being around the members in the group. Because MCMLA relies on volunteers to get work done, it is important to remember that membership is composed mostly of full-time working professionals who are balancing a demanding career and personal life. To be successful in your work with MCMLA, keep some things in mind. Never be afraid to ask questions. We are a complex group, and no one knows everything about this organization. So if in doubt, just ask. If you commit to something, stick to the commitment. Others count on you to do so. That being said, if circumstances change and you realize the work is not going to happen, don't be afraid to let someone know as soon as possible. We all know we are volunteers here. Talk with the chair or other elected or appointed people, and they will help you come up with a plan. For instance, they can help you to rethink the task, measure its priority, find additional help, or even in some cases, someone else to do it. If you don't ask for help, help cannot be given. The most important point is to have fun. This orientation will cover the legal framework of MCMLA, where to get help and information, and the MCMLA structure. Just some technical background stuff. MCMLA is incorporated by the state of Illinois. It is in Illinois because that is where MLA is headquartered, and they handle that for us. We are a 501c3, and the chapter treasurer completes an annual report every year for the state of Illinois. This makes us a not-for-profit organization. We also have a federal employee identification number. We need this to identify our organization for the IRS and other federal organizations. To get dues, we need this, as hospitals that pay your membership dues will not cut checks for groups without this number. Please note, we are not tax exempt. We still pay sales tax when we purchase something. We must report our income to the IRS, but as a nonprofit, we do not owe taxes on the money. The foundation document for MCMLA is the bylaws. It is the document that we and other agencies will go to if there is any questions about MCMLA and its purpose and existence. The bylaws can be found on the chapter website. We also have a policy and procedures manual. It's available on the chapter website, and it is password protected. You will need to log on to the chapter website to obtain access to the manual. The manual is password protected because there are username and passwords in the manual. Our policy and procedures manual is a fluid document and is updated annually by our immediate past chair. This manual will be invaluable as you plan your year as a leader in MCMLA. Important sections for you will be your committee's responsibility and the chapter calendar that is found at the back of the manual. It is highly recommended that you print out your committee pages along with the calendar. Also, the Honors and Awards Committee and the Nominating Committee has 2 sections within the manual. See the table of contents for the pages you will want to print. When a new manual is posted on the chapter website, you will be informed. As you start your role in MCMLA, remember you are not doing it alone. There are many resources that you have available that can help. First and foremost, previous officers and committee chairs can help. Other resources include the General Chapter Listserv and the Executive Committee Listserv. Notices about upcoming Executive Committee meetings will be posted on the Executive Committee Listserv. The chapter website has the bylaws and the policy and procedure manual, which we have already discussed. Other important links are the membership directory and the list of elected and appointed officers. You have editing privileges on the chapter website. If you need help with the website, then please contact the website editor. The website editor's contact information can be found on the MCMLA roster of officers and committees. A few points about the website. Additional information about posting to the MCMLA listserv is available at mcmla.org/listserv, as well as in the Policy and Procedure Manual. On the Executive Committee webpage, you can click on each name to send them an email. Current officers and committee chairs should have received an email from the web editor with specific login information for the website. Save that email since it has the username and password you need, along with a list of MCMLA web pages for which you have editing responsibilities. Also, do not change the passwords, since the logins are being shared by multiple people. The passwords are updated once a year after the annual meeting. I will now turn the orientation over to John Bramble, who will discuss the structure of MCMLA.
Hello, everyone. This is John Bramble. Like many organizations, most of the work takes place in committees. Each committee has tasks that they are either given to work on or they develop on their own, where they think important work needs to be done and would benefit the chapter. This is a list of the MCMLA committees. The responsibility of each committee is described in the Policy and Procedure Manual posted to the MCMLA website. It is very important that everyone in your committee reads and understands the committee's responsibilities and when certain tasks are due throughout the year. The procedures are meant to be helpful, but are only so if they are used early in the term of your office. Don't wait until you're halfway through the year before you understand what you need to do. You may have missed completing a task critical to the purpose of your committee. The Executive Committee are made up of members who are elected into the position by chapter members. The executive committee typically sets the pace for what gets done during the year and acts like a board of directors. They are responsible for the direction of the organization and ensuring everything gets done that needs to get done. They can assign agents to do this, but they are ultimately responsible. Our executive committee has 6 members listed here. We will go into more detail on each of these in the next few slides. As a reminder, detailed information about the executive committee can be found in our policy and procedure manual. The chair's term begins immediately after the gavel is passed at the annual business meeting after spending a year-long term as chair-elect. A large part of what the chair does is organizing and facilitating meetings. There is an annual business meeting and all of the executive meetings held throughout the year. To help keep progress moving throughout the year, regular meetings are held using teleconferences and web meeting services, such as Join Me, which all MCMLA leadership have access to and are encouraged to use. Email is also used to keep the lines of communications open so our work continues all year. MCMLA has a parliamentarian who helps us follow meeting the rules of the organization. Because the chair is responsible for ensuring the work of the committees, make sure that the committee work is completed, the chair is an ex officio member of all committees except the nominating committee. The chair is responsible for preparing and submitting the mid-year report and an annual report to MLA. These are substantial reports and take time to prepare with little time to do it in. This means that it's very important that the reports required to be submitted by committee chairs, task force chairs, elected officials, appointed officials, and MLA liaisons be submitted on time so the chair can include these in major reports. Even though the executive committee votes to approve the annual budget, the chair is ultimately responsible for preparing the budget for the fiscal year. The chair works closely with the treasurer, along with input from many others, for a vote by the executive committee. The chair-elect assumes their new role after the annual meeting of the year that they were elected. The vice chair or chair-elect have 2 extremely important duties. The chair-elect is responsible for finding volunteers for all of the committee chairs, except for those where the chair is rotated, like the nominating committee, and those who have ex officio duties. The chair-elect also seeks input from the current chair on people to fill the role of committee members. The second important task of the chair-elect is to update the chapter's strategic plan and create the priorities for the chapter when they assume the role of chair. These documents set the tone for the chapter for the upcoming year. The strategic plan guides the committee chairs who, with the help of their committee members, have to create activities for their committees. The strategic plan will be the basis of the reports that are sent to MLA. The chair-elect is a part of the executive committee and as such votes on all issues presented to that committee. The chair-elect submits budget items and writes reports as requested by the chair. The chair-elect acts on the part of the chair when the chair is not able to do so. The immediate past chair is a member of the executive committee and can make motions and vote on all business in front of that committee. The immediate past chair has important responsibilities. He or she is responsible for updating the policy and procedure manual. It is critical that this document is accurate so it truly reflects the details on how MCMLA gets work done and ensures the continuity of chapter functions. This person also serves on the nominating committee and submits reports as requested along with budget requests. The chapter council representative and the alternate serve as the link between the chapter and MLA. They assume their role after the annual meeting of the year of their election. This is a 3-year commitment with the understanding that one or both can attend the chapter council meeting held at the MLA annual meeting. These positions require them to be members of MLA to ensure that the chapter is represented on the chapter council. The most important duty of these positions, in addition to being members of the executive committee, is to provide a formal report on the chapter council meeting at MLA to membership of MCMLA. In addition, they can take concerns of the chapter members to MLA, share MLA initiatives and actions that could impact the chapter, and serve on different chapter council committees. They can also submit budget items for consideration. The recording secretary takes office after the annual meeting of the year they were elected. This position is primarily the scribe of the organization, taking minutes of all office official meetings, both the executive meetings and the annual business meetings. The minutes are often referenced to help guide the actions of the organization and for the historical information they contain. It is important to note that this is a hard job, so there are a couple things that you can do to help out. First, when you receive draft minutes from the recording secretary, please respond right away with any changes or corrections. 2, send a written report of your committee's work to the recording secretary before or shortly after each executive committee meeting so it can be included in the minutes. As a member of the executive committee, this person can make motions and vote on all business in front of the executive committee. The secretary can submit budget items as well. In this section, I'm going to go through general duties of all committee chairs. You can find the descriptions of individual committee responsibilities in the Policy and Procedure Manual. Committee chairs assume their role after the annual meeting. As a committee chair, it is important that you make contact with the other members of your committee. The chair-elect will always have those names, and if they are current members of MCMLA, their information will be in the membership directory on the MCMLA website. Committee chairs are responsible for recruiting chair designates from current committee members who will be appointed committee chair at the end of the term of the current chair. Committee chair and their committees are strongly encouraged to meet at the annual meeting and throughout the year to plan, submit budget requests, and carry out committee tasks. All committees have access to the chapter's web meeting services like Join Me. Instructions for accessing this service is in part 2 of the orientation. Current chairs rotating out of the role of chair should work closely with the new chair designate as this person comes in to ensure a smooth transition of leadership. Chairs are responsible for leading in the development of their committee's activities, making sure they align with the MCMLA 5-year strategic goals and the chapter chair's priorities. These 2 things will be introduced in part 2 of the leadership orientation. Chairs also submit budget requests aligning with the committee's activities, strategic goals, and the chair's priorities, spends out the approved funds, and records and reports on all financial transactions. The chapter's fiscal year goes from January to December. The budget typically gets approved in the January executive committee meeting. At the December executive meeting, the treasurer will distribute the year-to-date expenses and a blank budget for the next year. Using this information, committee chairs and appointed officers submit their budget request to the treasurer by the end of December. Using the information submitted, the treasurer will create a proposed budget for the next fiscal year. At the end of the January executive meeting, a vote will be taken to accept the fiscal year's budget. Chairs will need to file mid-year and annual reports to the chapter chair so that the chapter chair can submit a chapter-wide report for MLA. Again, deadlines will be provided and formats will be shared, likely processed on the chapter's priorities will be emphasized. In addition to the committees, there are other members who contribute to the workings of MCMLA. This is a list of appointed positions. There's a treasurer, parliamentarian, archivist, annual meeting advisor, editor of the MCMLA Express, an auditor, website editor, electronic discussion list owner, annual meeting chairs, and MLA liaison. A note about the archivist, all MCMLA-related reports you write, any awards that were given, any items of note to emerge from your committee's work, like a published article, must be sent to the chapter's archivist. These achievements all tell the story of MCMLA, and we want that story to be as rich and as full as possible. It may seem like just another extra step, but we go to the archivist quite a few times to verify information and get a historical view of the chapter. Since MCMLA's work is really the committee's work, your efforts should be in the archives. I'm now going to turn the time back over to Jackie, who's going to wrap up this session.
John and I have just presented a lot of information about the chapter. Let's take a few moments to review some questions about the chapter. When does my term start? Well, your term has already started, especially if you're watching this video. What should I ask for in a budget? A good place to start is looking at the current fiscal year budget. If you need a copy, let the treasurer know. Are there files I should get? Contact the past committee chair for files that you might need. Where do I get the names and addresses of MCMLA members? Use the MCMLA membership directory found on the chapter website. What do I send the archivist? Any report you submit to the chair should also be sent to the archivist. Contact the chapter archivist for additional guidance. How do I get reimbursed? You will need to submit an expense report found on the chapter website in the Forms and Letterhead for MCMLA section, along with the detailed receipts to the treasurer. The expense report and receipts can be scanned and emailed to the treasurer. A note about detailed receipts: what the treasurer is looking for is the receipt that you receive that lists what you bought. I'm not looking for the credit card statement. That is not a detailed receipt. Need to contact MCMLA leadership or committee chairs? Then consult the MCMLA roster of officers and committees found on the MCMLA website under the committees link. If you have questions about the material presented in Part 1 of the Leadership Orientation, then please contact the current MCMLA chair or treasurer. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule to view this video.